What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are actually going to continue our coverage over Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin series. Now, with that being said, we are actually going to pick up with the next storyline that gives us Batman versus Batman. Yes, you heard that right. Batman versus Batman. Because this is really Grant Morrison beginning to do the work to tell us, do we actually know Bruce Wayne is dead or not? Because remember, in Final Crisis, Batman died, Bruce Wayne died, and when he died, Dick Grayson took over the role as Batman. But now the question is Bruce Wayne actually dead? And matter of fact, at the end of our last video, we saw Dick Grayson do something with what he believes to be the dead body of Bruce Wayne. And the question is right now, what did he do with the dead body of Bruce Wayne? And so getting into today's video, we actually do pick up with Dick Grayson right now being Batman, but he's right now in England. Now, the reason why he's in England is for a special mission. And matter of fact, this is going to lead into us finding out what he did with the body of Bruce Wayne. Now, with that being said, we do see Batman right now teaming up with Squire. Now, Squire is technically the sidekick to another character known as Knight. And in England, Knight and Squire are the Batman and Robin of this area. But right now, Knight is not there. And of course, Damian Wayne is recovering from his recent battle in our last video. And so right now, you have Batman teaming up with Squire because apparently a bad guy known as King Cole had planted bombs all across England. And of course, it's up to Batman and Squire to find those bombs and defuse them. Now, when we actually pick up with Dick Grayson, they were able to stop most of the bombs except the last one. And of course, the last one is the most powerful bomb. Now, when Batman and Squire are able to work together and find the last bomb, of course, it was hidden somewhere underground. But when they do find the bomb, they find the bomb actually strapped to a character known as Smooth Eddie English. Now, Smooth Eddie English is somewhat important for this storyline. But either way, apparently King Cole was trying to kill him off for some unknown special reason. Either way, Batman was able to defuse the bomb, save his life, and also a ton of more people's lives as well if that bomb had exploded. And so the day is saved. Now for Batman, he wants to know why in the world was King Cole trying to kill off Eddie English. Now Batman knows that the two bad guys are technically part of two different gangs. Either way, there still has to be some kind of reason for King Cole to actually kill off Eddie English. And so you do have Batman go over to Basement 101. And of course, Basement 101 is where you have England hold most of their super villains at. Either way, he remembered that when it comes to Eddie English, he's better known as the Pearly Prince. And the reason why he's known as the Prince because he is second in charge of the gang he belongs to, which is the Pearly Gang. And so right now you have Batman saying, let me go pay a visit to the Pearly King of Crime. Now, when he does that, of course, the Pearly King of Crime is the father to the Pearly Prince, Eddie English. Either way, it's Batman trying to figure out what in the world is really going on here. And so that is the moment where you do have the Pearly King tell Batman that there was some kind of bet, some kind of game. And when the game was over, my son, Eddie English, was able to win a prize. And that prize was an abandoned mine. Now, after a while, King Cole wanted the mine back. But unfortunately, Eddie said no because he did win it fair and easily. But of course, when it came to King Cole, he could not take no for an answer. And so that is why he's trying to kill off Eddie English so that he'll be able to get the mine back. Now for Batman, Dick Grayson, he wants to know why in the world are two guys fighting over an abandoned mine? And apparently there's some kind of source of energy that has the ability to bring someone back to life. And that is why King Cole wants the mine back. And so for Batman, he wants to know more about this mine. Now, we do get a couple pages to tell us what's going on right now with Robin, Damian Wayne, because remember, in our last video where Batman and Robin were trying to stop Red Hood, apparently a new bad guy known as Flamingo came in town and first off beat up on Jason Todd and his sidekick Scarlet. But either way, after that, Damian Wayne got shot 5 times in the back. And so, of course, Homeboy needs a new spine. Matter of fact, he needs a lot of surgery done. But of course, they go to the best person who could actually offer him the best kind of surgery. And that would be his mother, Talia al Ghul. And so right now, you have Talia trying to save her son's life. Now, when it comes to Talia, she hates the idea that right now her son is pretending to be Robin. But at the same time, she understands that right now he's trying to continue on the legacy of Bruce Wayne, his father, because Bruce Wayne died. And so she's kind of like, it's okay for now for him to pretend that what he's doing is honoring his father, but sooner or later, my son is going to be the next person in charge of the League of Assassins. He is going to replace his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul, down the road. But for now, I'll let it be. Now for Alfred, he's just like, listen, I just came here so that you could help your son out and help him recover. That is it. Honestly, I'm praying that he does not become the next person in charge of the League of Assassins. But either way, do you, boo. But getting over to Batman and Squire, we do see them right now going to the abandoned mine. Of course, the one that King Cole wants so badly back. Now, with that being said, once they do get inside the abandoned mine, that is the moment they are confronted by a bunch of men who work for King Cole. And of course, it does lead into a small battle between Batman and Squire against these guys who work for King Cole. But while you have our heroes fighting against these guys, that is the moment you have Squire realize someone else is down here with them, but also fighting against the men who work for King Cole. And of course, to kind of find out, it is the Knight. And like I said earlier, when it comes to England, the Knight and Squire are more like Batman and Robin of the area. Either way, he was down here as well trying to figure out what in the world King Cole was trying to do with this abandoned mine. What kind of source of energy is down here? Now, with that being said, they all realized that some of the men of King Cole were carrying a coffin. Now, the coffin is apparently not empty, of course, because why would you carry an empty coffin? Either way, we kind of find out that inside the coffin, well, it is actually Batwoman. Somehow she got involved in this mess as well, but apparently she was knocked out, put inside the coffin, and they were carrying her into the mine. And the question is right now, what in the world is going on with you, Batwoman? And so that is the moment where she does tell us that she was trying to bring down King Cole, because King Cole actually works for an organization known as Religion of Crime. And when it comes to the Religion of Crime, apparently they came here to this mine to look for this power source. And this power source is better known as an abandoned pit, an abandoned Lazarus Pit, meaning that it has the ability to bring someone back to life. And apparently in their religion of crime, this evil group across the world, they believe that tonight is the night where a powerful being or some kind of being known as the Knight of Beasts is going to rise. Now, if the Knight of Beasts does rise, it could bring all doom to the entire world. Now, that is the moment you have Batman say, listen, some of your information is correct. They were trying to get to this power source because yes, something is coming out of the pit alive once again. But don't worry, it will not bring the end to the world. Matter of fact, I'm bringing back a hero. And apparently, Dick Grayson, Squire and Knight knew about this pit. And apparently, their goal was to actually bring back Bruce Wayne by using this abandoned pit. And they plan to jump the body of Bruce Wayne in there to hopefully bring him back. That explains what we saw at the end of our last video, where you had Tim Drake go over and grab the body of Bruce Wayne. He is about to try to bring back Bruce Wayne Batman. And apparently we pick up right now with the body already being inside there. And so when our heroes walk into the room, you have a hand just pop right out of the Lazarus Pit. And of course, this begins the process of possibly Bruce Wayne Batman coming back into the picture. Now, the first few pages of the second chapter really does focus more on kind of gives an idea how in the world Batwoman got captured. Because remember earlier, she was trying to figure out what King Cole was trying to do with the abandoned mine. And she was trying to stop King Cole as well. Now, apparently, earlier on in the day, or possibly yesterday, she was technically following a bunch of what she believed to be kids who are cultists, part of the religion of crime, and she was trying to follow them. But that was the moment that when she tried to confront them, they were able to overcome her and knock her out. And of course, they had put her inside that coffin where she ran into Batman, Knight, and Squire. And so that was a quick rundown on what happened to Batwoman. How in the world did she get captured? But then we jump back into the present day where we actually do see the rise of Bruce Wayne Batman. And so that is the moment where you do have Batman come out of the Lazarus Pit completely. Now, when he does, of course, you have our heroes on guard right now. And the reason why, because usually when your body is dumped into the Lazarus Pit, when you come back out, you're insane. You're completely crazy. And so right now they're wondering, okay, are you okay in the head right now, Bruce? Because if you're not, we're going to fight you, knock you out, and then slowly help you become sane again. Now, of course, they do wait until he actually does something. And what he does is attack them. Now, it's up to Dick Grayson at first. And the reason why, because Dick Grayson was Batman's first partner. He fought alongside Batman for years. And so this is him right now thinking, I should be okay when it comes to fighting against Batman. Except when he does fight against Batman, he realized that this Bruce Wayne Batman is stronger than usual. And of course tells Dick Grayson, I don't think this is Bruce. Which means that the entire time they had a dead body that they thought was actually Bruce Wayne in their basement was not Bruce Wayne at all. And this begins Grant Morrison's work on the idea of saying Bruce Wayne could actually be alive still, guys. He may have not died in Final Crisis, which means that when Superman arrived and looked over the dead body of Bruce Wayne, believing it was Bruce Wayne, Superman was actually wrong. Because we kind of find out that apparently back in Final Crisis, Darkseid made a bunch of clones of Batman. And the reason why, because when it comes to Batman, he's the perfect person to clone because of his incredible power and drive to keep fighting and keep doing what's right in his mind. And so for Darkseid, he was the perfect person to clone, which they did. They made 200 clones, but Darkseid then killed off 199. Only leaving one clone behind. And of course, that one clone is here right now, fighting against Dick Grayson, which means that when it came to Batman, quote unquote, dying, it wasn't really Batman who died. It was actually this clone that actually died. And so Dick Grayson just brought the clone back to life. And so getting back over to the present day, we actually do see the clone Batman right now fighting against Batman, Batwoman, Knight, and Squire. It's all four characters right now trying to fight against the clone of Batman. And because this is the clone of Batman, he knows how to fight. Now, we're going to learn more about this clone later on in this video, but when it comes to the clone, he knows how to fight, but on top of that, he has super strength, which means that when it comes to our heroes, they're fighting a super strength Batman, and of course, they're going to struggle, and they're trying their best left and right. But unfortunately, every single thing they try to do is not working, because this is technically what could be called the perfect Batman. Now, we do get a small glimpse of King Cole, and the reason why, because remember, King Cole was the person who was fighting over this abandoned mine, who was trying to stop the rise of the Night of the Beast, because in part of his religion, the Night of the Beast brings doom to the entire world. And so they were trying to prevent that from actually happening. And of course, Well, it technically did happen. The Night of the Beast did rise, the clone Batman. Either way, you have King Cole saying, to make sure that nothing happens to the world, I'm going to blow up the mine to hopefully trap every single person in that mine so that they'll die down there and doom cannot come to the earth. And so he does hit a button to blow up the mine. And so getting back to our heroes who are right now fighting in the mine against clone Batman, well, that is the moment King Cole bombs actually go off. And when they do go off, you actually have the cave begin to cave in. Now, it does lead to 3 different groups where you have Knight and Squire stuck in one part of the mine. You have Batman and Batwoman stuck in a different part of the mine. And you have our clone Batman in another part. Now, when it comes to clone Batman, he is actually able to get away because the part he's trapped in, not only trapped in, it leads to the entrance. And so he's able to get away while the rest of our heroes are still technically trapped inside the mine. But do we pick up with Alfred? Now, when we do, it's Alfred finding out what Dick Grayson actually did, which was removing the body of the clone Bruce Wayne. Now, Alfred has no idea that it was a clone the entire time. And so to Alfred, he's really kind of like, oh my gosh, Dick Grayson has just taken the body of Bruce Wayne. This is not good at all. I have to tell someone. But then we jump back over to our heroes. And really, we jump over to Batwoman and Batman. Now, because the mine did cave in, some of the rocks did fall on her. And right now, she is technically slowly dying. Now, with her slowly dying off, you do have Batman and her talk. And she tells Batman to let her die. Do not try to save me. Now, this is not her saying sacrifice me for the betterment of good so that you'll be able to actually go stop the clone Batman. No, what she's saying is, once I do die, dump my body into the Lazarus Pit so that I'll be able to come back to life. And so when Knight and Squire arrive, and they see her dead in Batman's arm, you have Dick tell Knight and Squire, this is what we're going to do. As a way to make sure to bring her back to life, we're going to dump her body in the Lazarus Pit. But getting back over to the home of Dick, Damian, and Alfred, you have Alfred walk outside. And when he does, he's confronted by, of course, the clone Batman, the clone of Bruce Wayne. And so at first, it's Alfred really believing that the guy he looked at as a son is alive again. Bruce Wayne is alive, and this is huge for Alfred. But then he realized this can't be Bruce Wayne. And he's right, it's not Bruce Wayne. And so you have clone Batman take Alfred and just throws him inside the room. And then he walks in and you have clone Batman confront what he believes to be his biological son, Damian Wayne. Because Damian came home after having all that surgery done by Talia in the League of Assassins. Either way, it's Damian also confused, wondering, how in the world is my father right here standing before me? And also, what happened to Alfred? And so getting into the 3rd chapter, we actually jump back over to Batman, Squire, and Knight. Now, when we do have our heroes right now trying to undig the Lazarus Pit. Thanks to King Cole blowing up the cave, a bunch of rocks did fall on top of the Lazarus Pit. And so while they're doing that, you have Knight begin to say that he finally realized that Dick Grayson is crazy. And the reason why he's saying that, because when it comes to this Knight, just like Dick Grayson, he is the second Knight. Cyril Sildrake, and I really hope I pronounce his name correctly, was actually Squire first. His father was the original Knight, but his dad died, and so he took up the mantle as the new Knight, and of course got a new Squire. Now with that being said though, it's kind of like Dick Grayson, where Bruce Wayne died, and now here's Dick Grayson taking up his mentor spot as the Batman. And so right now you have Cyril the Knight saying, listen, I finally realized that I was right about you. That when I met you when you were Robin, I believed that you were a tad bit crazy, a tad bit weird. And here you are right now showing me that you are crazy because you try to bring your mentor back from the dead. Now, with that being said, you have Dick say, that's funny, you call me crazy because you were somebody who was always copying me. So be quiet and begin the process of undigging the Lazarus Pit so that we can help out Batwoman. And so getting back over to Damian Wayne and Alfred, who right now have to deal with the clone of Bruce Wayne, we actually see them right now being very capable of finding different ways to try to kill off this clone of Bruce Wayne, because they know that this is not their Bruce Wayne. It's not Damian's father. Now, even though Damian is still badly injured because, again, he was shot in our last video 5 times, and so he had to have a lot of different kinds of surgery, he's still a great fighter. And not really a fighter, he knows how to make sure that he cannot be killed off so easily, to keep his distance from this clone Batman. Now, while you have clone Batman just walking around the Batcave, trying to find Damian, trying to find Alfred, you have this clone Batman begin to technically speak, and when he does, the words he is saying are not actual words. It seems like his brain is not working correctly. But on top of that, so is his memories as well. It's meaning that he is not the perfect clone that Darkseid was trying to make, which means that this clone Batman was technically used for another kind of purpose. And that purpose will be told to us in videos down the road. Either way, right now, you do have this clone Batman also beginning to fall apart to show us that he was not intended to actually be brought back to life. That apparently he was intended to only be used to fake the death of Bruce Wayne. Because right now, this clone Batman, his skin and his body is beginning to burn up. And that tells us, yes, for sure, this is a clone of Bruce Wayne. And so then we jump back over to our heroes. And when we do, we actually see them right now dumping the body of Batwoman into the Lazarus Pit. And when they do that, of course, they're bringing her back to life. Now, when she does come back to life, that is the moment you have Batman wanting to leave, because he knows where the clone Batman is actually going to, which is, of course, Damian Wayne and Alfred. And so he wants to leave right now to stop the clone Batman. Now, Batwoman goes with them because they're both from Gotham. It would make sense for the two of them to go together back to Gotham and work together to actually stop the clone Batman, while you have Knight and Squire stay here in England to hopefully find King Cole and stop him as well. And so you do have our heroes actually split up to accomplish both missions. And so this leads us into the next battle between Batman and Clone Batman, because when we jump over to Clone Batman right now, throwing Damian Wayne off the rooftop, and we're left to believe that Damian is about to die, you do have Dick Grayson come in at the very last second, being able to catch Damian, and we then see Dick Grayson fight against the Clone Batman once again, except with the help of Batwoman. Now, Damian cannot help out because, like I said earlier, when it came to Batwoman, she had no idea that Bruce Wayne was Batman. And so right now, they have to pretend that Damian is just some injured kid, the kid of Bruce Wayne, and right now being attacked by the clone Batman for some unknown reason. Either way, you do have Dick Grayson and Batwoman being able to fight against the clone until it officially burns out. Because like I said earlier, this was not the perfect clone. It was not made to come back to life. It was made for one purpose, and that purpose was to fake the death of Bruce Wayne, which it did back in Final Crisis and this storyline right here. And so I don't think to Darkseid it was supposed to be brought back to life again. Either way, because the fight lasted so long, the clone technically burned out and just dies right in front of everybody. And you do have Batwoman leave and wondering why in the world the clone of Batman would attack Alfred and Damian Wayne, why come here to Wayne Tower for. But on top of that, it does kind of give a small hint here that Dick Grayson and Batwoman kind of like each other in some kind of weird way. Even though we know it's not going to happen, back then it seems like DC was teasing the idea of Batman, Dick Grayson, getting with Batwoman. Now, to close on today's video, we do see some time has passed by where we actually pick up with Damian Wayne recovered, but right now you have Damian, Alfred, and Dick in the Batcave. Now, while in the Batcave, you do have Batman, Dick Grayson, say that he was at fault for technically trying to bring back Bruce Wayne. But luckily he did do that because now they know that what they had was the clone of Bruce Wayne, which means that in reality, Bruce Wayne could be still alive out there. The question is though, where? But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. Guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.